Months after having told India's Supreme Court that it will not hold talks with Jammu and Kashmir separatist leadership or those who talked of Azadi or freedom, the centre now appears to have modified its stance on the matter. BJP's General Secretary Ram Madhav has today said that both the centre as well as Jammu and Kashmir government were ready for a dialogue with everybody and without any preconditions. He is in Kashmir at the moment. He added that doors are open for those who want to talk. Madhav also said that questions should be asked to those who do not want to go for dialogue in the conflict-hit state. What makes Ram Madhav's statement significant is the fact that it comes just days after Union Home Minister Rajnath Singh made similar remarks during his visit to the valley. Prime Minister Modi too, in his Independence Day speech from Red Fort, had said that Kashmir, the issue can only be solved by embracing Kashmiris and not through bullets and abuses. Ram Madhav's statement is a clear departure from the stance taken by the centre before India's apex court in April during the hearing of petition filed by Jammu and Kashmir Bar Association against the use of pellet guns in the state. The centre then had minced no words in stating that it will not hold talks on Kashmir unrest with either the separatists or people who've talked about freedom. Now, both the ruling People's Democratic Party, or the PDP, as well as the Opposition National Conference responded positively to his remarks. Former Chief Minister of the state, Omar Abdullah, called his remarks, especially the part about dialogue without preconditions, significant. The ball now is in the separatist court in the troubled state of Jammu and Kashmir. Let me now go across live to WION senior correspondent Raghavendra Rao. He joins me live from the newsroom. Raghavendra, as we've been talking about, this is a significant statement that comes in from the leadership, from the centre. Should it be then taken as the government's sort of reworked or new policy of the way it wants to resolve the crisis of this issue in Kashmir?
Well, indeed, Sana, and while many are already calling it a U-turn as far as the central government is concerned, it may not be a complete U-turn, but yes, it is a modification of the existing stance for sure, because while arguing a case before the Supreme Court, Mukul Rohtagi, who was the Advocate General at that time, he had stated very, very clearly before the apex court that the central government was not going to hold talks with either separatists or those who were demanding azadi or freedom in the state. That was a stance that was taken by the centre. It was widely reported at that time. And from then onwards, this happened sometime in April this year, and from then onwards we have seen the centre, nuancing its approach a bit, modifying what it had said earlier, because that was thought to be a very hardline stance.
Right.
But over a period of time, we have seen a nuanced approach. We saw the Prime Minister talking about embracing Kashmiris. Then we had Home Minister Rajnath Singh going to Kashmir and making these conciliatory noises. Now, Ram Madhav's statement, it's only a reiteration of what the centre has been trying to say for a while, that it is indeed open to talks, provided all the stakeholders do manage to come up and hold talks, and that the most critical bit, as Omar Abdullah has also pointed out, is the fact that the centre probably in a long time has probably said it for the first time that they are open to talks without any preconditions.
Absolutely. So, Raghavendra, how do you suppose the separatist leadership is going to view this particular statement? If I'm not mistaken, they'd come out with a similar statement saying that they're ready for talks with the government on this issue. Do you think they will be ready now, especially when the government is saying that there will be no preconditions?
Well, that remains to be seen, Sana, but the kind of crackdown we have witnessed recently over many of the separatists in the valley, the kind of crackdown the National Investigation Agency has launched over many of these people who have not just been engaging in subversive activities in the valley, but also have been fueling all kinds of problems there. We have seen a lot of separatists, under the scanner. Many of them, many of their places have been raided, many of the premises have been raided. A lot of recoveries have been made. So the heat is on the ground as well, as far as many of the separatists are concerned. So this statement coming in from centre that it is open to talks, dialogue without any preconditions, whether they would agree to such a statement statement and then come forward, given the fact that on the ground the heat is very much on, and the terror funding case which is being investigated by the NIA clearly has put many of these separatists in the dock. So it still remains to be seen the kind of response they'll come up with.
All right, Raghvendra, thanks so much for joining us with inputs on that story and a perspective as well.